All right, everybody. Good afternoon. This is BruiseR with the Halo Draft League. I happen to have with me, um, we have Fireboy JET, who is the captain of, um, he is the captain of Scars Esports. Excuse me, there. The name just changed from uh, recently.
TikTok travelers.
Yeah, TikTok Travelers, Scar.
Oh,
Now you guys are Scars. So, uh,
yeah.
welcome to the cast. And Jet, how you feeling
Thank-
about the regular season after you guys finished up the preseason at 2-0?
Well, I am feeling pretty confident going in to this season, but of course we never know what can happen because there are some teams that are looking um to make subs or have you made subs and trades and all that, and because we are pretty confident with our roster and because we are sticking with it, we don't know whether if that's gonna end on a good note or whether it's gonna be our downfall, you know. So
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, exactly. And you speak of roster changes, and recently we've had
yeah,
Spellbound Gaming drop Tet G. What do you make of
yeah.
Spellbound, and how do you think Tet G's loss is going to impact them?
Well, I was speaking to some people from Spellbound, and they were looking quite forward to a Tet G versus Lava matchup. Um, which of course that uh won't be happening. I uh I think he's a player like that could be a could be a really risky drop because he's pretty solid and like having a having a player like that being dropped like could potentially be a big threat to us as like it could turn out for the better and they top us in the league or like it could be their downfall and then they potentially go down to like seventh, you know, like
Yeah,
it's
so
quite
you're really
a
thinking that
risky
the
drop.
loss of Tet G is going to impact, it's going to put them on the fringe of making the playoffs, then, huh?
Yeah, like I think it is a drop that could either be very good or very bad for them. I honestly hope that nothing bad does happen to him, as we always like a good bit of competition over at Scarzy Sports, and like we want to have a fair chance at matching up every team and like just
Yeah, and
play to win,
I
you know?
hate to cut you off here, but yeah, I mean, you bring up a good point. Um, so Scars is looking looking to have competition. So you're predicting that Scars will be towards
Yes.
the top of the regular season, and it'll be interesting. As a good segue into the actual show here, we're actually doing a preseason. Well, actually, it's regular season now. I'm going to be showing the predictions that I have based off of the schedule that we've got coming out, and it's up to date with the loss of Tet G to Spellbound Gaming. And oddly enough, as I sat through this morning, I was going over the teams, the matchups, and without Tet G, I had Spellbound at a certain record, and then I went back later on this early afternoon and factored in Tet G leaving, and I only saw Spellbound lose two more rounds for the regular season in total, and it dropped them one win. So I don't. I still think Spellbound has quality players, and I think that they're going to
Yeah,
be able to
of
make up
course.
and be pretty competitive. And you'll look as we get through these season predictions, you'll see that there is quite a battle from the fifth through the ninth spot, and really looking at seven, eight, and
Yes.
nine to get into the sixth slot. So it is going to be pretty competitive there in the middle pack. But
True.
at the top, my top three or four I think is just a little bit beyond the rest of the league. So with that said, Fireboy, what do you think we get into our number 10, my number 10 prediction here?
Why not? Let's
Uh,
got to
all,
what we're all here for. You
all
know,
right.
let's
All right, we got Zapper Bunny saying good afternoon to the league, so I'll go ahead and throw him a shout out here. I played with Zapper Bunny quite a few times, him and Closer Spore. We got some nice pubs in this week, so hello to Zapper Bunny. Thanks for watching. All right, with that said, we're going to go into our number 10 team, how I believe is going to shake out this season. We have Low Tier Lux. And let's see if we can't make this a little bit better for you guys. Low Tier Lux. I've got Low Tier Lux finishing at 0-9, unfortunately. They've had a drop. They lost their best player in Ignition FPS. Ignition FPS had a little bit of a bad attitude, got a little disappointed with his team, and he dropped. So what do you think here of this prediction with Low Tier Lux finishing 10th with no wins?
I mean, that would be a massive drop for Low Tier Lux, but you can kind of see where Ignition is coming from though, because he very clearly values himself quite highly, and if he has a team where he can't play to his full potential, I mean,
yeah, but that's what I mean. That's what makes a league like this fun. Is
yeah,
you don't have a great prize pool. I mean, we got some shirts in here. We've got the potential of some headsets and working on some others here. But everybody's in here for it's a draft league. They're here to have fun.
Yeah,
So
a bit of fun.
yes,
But,
yeah. So it is fun. The fun of the league is being able to see who gets drafted, what teams they get on, and how they pull out.
yeah.
So with Low Tier Lux sitting at 0-9 on my prediction, do you agree with them being 0-9, or do you think that they can pull off a win?
Now, I have no clue. It would be very unlikely for them to basically goose the whole league. But
I mean,
um,
I thought the same thing. I was like, I think they're going to be able to pull out a win or two here. It's unlikely that they're going to go 0-9, but when I was going through the schedule, I really could not find what team is going to lose. I mean, you look at all of these teams that I don't. It's like if you watch NFL football, I mean, you've got the Buffalo Bills at the beginning of the season. No team was like, oh man, I think they're going to win this game. Everybody was picking against them, but yet here they finished the season with 5 wins. So it's bound to happen. I just didn't know which team I wanted to say was going to lose that game.
Yeah.
So I don't really think Low Tier Lux, like you said, is going to finish 0-9. It's just too hard to do. So we'll see how that plays out. Now I know you got a match here in about 20 minutes, so I'm gonna leave that one enough for Low Tier Lux. I hope they do better though. So let's move on to our number 9 team I have finishing. And we've got Infusion here. So what do you think about Infusion in the number 9 slot? I have them with 2 wins, 7 losses, and a total of 16 games for. Have you played with any members of Infusion so far?
Well, seeing how you are on it, I have played a few matchmaking games with you, and I'm like, it isn't a bad team, but I haven't seen you play as a team fully yet.
Yeah.
I
I know. Yeah, we've played together in a scrim or two. And again, I am the sub on this team, so
yes. So you won't always be playing.
right. So again, it's the same with Low Tier Lux. The 9, 8, and 7 slot. I mean, it's just so competitive. I don't know where to give the wins to Infusion. I like the players. I'm not a homer here, as you can see. My own team's at number 9.
Yeah.
I like the players. I just don't know where to give them the win.
But but I also think none of these players are necessarily bad players, but
But it's how much
I
it.
guess it really depends on how they gel as a team and how they play once they get in the league matches and how they perform
Yeah,
on that day. So it
exactly.
is really down to like which team is playing hot and which team is on a bit of a roughie that day, you know? So
Right on. And with that said, I'm going to move right on into number 8 team here. And finishing number 8, we have Sierra. Sierra projecting to finish at 2-7, similarly with Infusion with 16 games for and 24 games against. I do believe you guys are playing Sierra today, so
yes, we are.
yeah. So I actually, when I went through the schedule, I did not predict Sierra to beat you guys today. Yeah, I think that you guys will end up beating Sierra 3-1. You guys have a pretty tough team. Um, and Sierra, unfortunately for them, they lost two of the players that they drafted early in the season, so
Mm,
they're playing with a little bit of a free agent team here. But they're
yes.
still good. Sierra's led by Closer Spore, and
But
Closer Spore is really good at
mm,
making his team gel.
well, we we actually played them in the preseason, and I could see that the team they had in the uh, preseason wasn't gelling very well, and they weren't really playing as a team, and they were kind of leaving people out on their own. And I am very interested to see how they play tonight with their basically free agent team, like
Yeah, well,
uh,
it will be
said.
interesting. Yeah, you make a good point. You don't want to have all
Also,
these onesies
um,
out there, so
mhm,
we'll see how Sierra is able
yeah,
to pull pull up against you guys and see if they can
yeah.
get a few
Plus,
more games for you. See on the standings there, the tie break when you have two wins, tied for wins is games four. So every game counts moving forward. And
yeah,
I'd like to spend more time on this matchup, but again, you got
yeah,
17 minutes before you start your matchup, and we got to get set up for the cast. So
yeah.
we're gonna move along here, and we're gonna push this up to number 7. And who do I have at number 7? I have You're in Trouble. What do you think about You're in Trouble being here at 2-7 with
Whew.
18 games for? Do you think they're a little underrated, or do you think this is about where they should fall?
Like, I am a little bit biased because they are like my friends like from the same region,
Yeah,
and and I am a little bit like, I mean, yeah, they could place seventh. Um, I mean, they very easily could, but they also could make the playoffs, and I would love to see them in the playoffs. It would be a great matchup to maybe play them and like play the homeboys, and like see
yeah,
how they
yeah. That would that
fare up against
that would be fun for you
the team.
guys. I know that. Um,
That's an
you
EU server.
You see how tight that is at 7, 8, and 9. You've got two
Yeah.
wins for 7, 8, and 9, and You're in Trouble ekes out the tiebreak over Sierra and Infusion with 2 games for. So it's looking to shape up to be a battle for that 6th spot. We've got Corsicat in our Twitch stream now. I guess he's seeing the You're in Trouble with a 2-7 projection. My bad, Corsicat. Again, the teams 1 through 4 are pretty stacked, and I did not know where the wins were going to come for you guys, and hopefully you guys can prove me wrong. All right, I'm going to move along here. Let's see who ekes out You're in Trouble here. And we've
For the
got
playoffs.
No Mercy. Corsican says he's seeing some lies. Well, we hope you prove us wrong here. Prove us wrong here. But I've got No Mercy sitting at number 6. No Mercy has Goom, Haynes, and Splattered. So No Mercy sitting at number 6. 4 and 5 is what I'm projecting them to be. They're going to be in a playoff transfer spot with 4 wins. But again, it is close. So we'll see. What do you think about No Mercy being in the 6th spot instead of You're in Trouble? Is that in line with your predictions, or do you think You're in Trouble's could flip?
I am actually quite surprised that No Mercy has been placed so low actually, because I thought they were one of the contestants for like a top 3 team, because like even on like a preseason game, if I am correct, they held stay dripping to a draw on that CTF Collie game, which I was
I,
quite impressed with,
I
because I
was,
guess
yeah, I was surprised in that as well, and we actually had
yeah
the ability to cast that game, but CTF was the only game that they were able to keep pretty tight. When you looked at their Team
yeah
Slayer, their oddball, I mean their Team Slayer and their strongholds, they really didn't match up too well. Stay Trippin'
yeah
kind of spread it out. So I did like No Mercy to take some rounds against them, but I just didn't
mhm,
see them pulling out
yeah
a win. And like you said, I mean, No Mercy is good. They've got talent. They've got 4 wins, and
yes
and 4 wins is pretty impressive, especially when you've got You're in Trouble down there at number 7, Sierra at number 8. I mean, it's still going to be hard to come out with wins against those teams.
yeah
And the 5 teams I have ahead of them, I think are a little bit better. Going into it in the preseason, before the preseason started, I had No Mercy at one of my top 3 teams. But after having the chance to cast a few of these games, this is just what I've seen based off of the teams that have formed. So with number 6 at No Mercy, we're gonna go into number 5 now. Number 5, we've got Safeties Off. What do you think about Safeties Off and their team captain? That is Alpapi, who is Suffered Tooth
safety's
79.
off. um
Right. And
like
if you need a reminder
they
on who is on their team, Safeties Off has Suffered Tooth 79,
yes
It's Exalt, Pro Shot, Holic, and Nader
mhm,
Hater.
yeah like they have some very good players there, and like it is so difficult, like the 5, 6, 7, 8 spots are like so close. Like these are the teams to watch, because nearly every single one of them could end up playing in the playoffs.
Yeah, like I said at the beginning of the cast, the 5, 6, 7, 8 slot. I mean, it really could just be that 1 or 2
Yeah.
games that tosses it up and alters these standings altogether. Safeties Off. I've got projected at 6 and 3. With our number 4 slot, who do I have? I have Casually Filthy. Again, Casually Filthy is led by the Abstract Kid. The Abstract Kid has Veronica. He has Dane. He also has Takedown, and he has Hero Walrus. So this is a good team.
Hmm.
They've got a few, I see them with 3 losses, and those 3 losses I do believe are to the top 3 teams I have here. Um,
Yes.
so what do you think about Casually Filthy here?
I think they are definitely a top 4 team. Like as um as I was speaking to my teammates, they were speaking of them very highly. Now on that preseason game, I unfortunately couldn't play, but but we were very but we were very looking forward to this challenge, and we managed to come away with the 3-1 win. So like it is definitely a team which is going to be on our back, and like it's a team that we'll be looking out for, and like
Right, right,
like
and I want to draw your attention to the games for here. I've got casualty, filthy, and safeties off with a game for at 22 apiece, so that can easily change on where they sit. So again,
true.
it's that middle grouping of teams that's going to be
Yeah,
tough here. So we're
one
going to
to
move
watch.
on. We're going to move on to number 3 team, and the number 3 team. Can you take a guess?
I honestly couldn't. It's
Okay.
just
All right.
too
Number 3
close.
team, we've got Spellbound Gaming. And that's even with the loss of Tet G. I just really like their roster. I still believe that they can make up for Tet G
Yeah.
if they get a that diamond pickup from Moose Coos. I haven't seen him much play,
Yeah.
but I still believe that they can pull out third. And a shout out to Blues, who's on that team. He's in the chat now on Twitch.
Hmm.
They're all really good players, even with the loss of Tet
Yes.
G. So, Spellbound at number 3, I've got them with eking out a tiebreak over Casually Filthy with the games 4. And again, that can sway very easily.
Yes.
Corsica says we're smoking some good-ish, but I'm not sure about that. We'll see how these stack up. I actually have these every game down to the wins and losses for each game type saved, so we'll be able to check me at the end of the season to see how close I was, and then if I'm close, you guys can suck it, okay? So we're gonna move on to the number 2 team. Now we haven't seen your team up here. Do you think you guys are gonna be second or first?
I've.
You got no
I
clue, huh?
mean,
All
yeah.
right, well, let's go ahead and reveal it for you. See where you guys land.
Right.
We've got you
Right.
sitting at number 2. We're sitting you
Right.
at 8 and
Yep.
1 with 26 games for and 11 games against. What do you think about that and where you sit?
I think that is pretty fair, but then I also think we could very easily go top, and like we could also get very easily relegated. I mean, um,
Yeah, for sure. And
yeah, like
sitting at 8 and 1 is
probably not relegated,
is
but
not even
like
a
go down the table.
right, and sitting at 8 and 1's not that conservative
Yeah.
of a prediction here.
Mhm. Yeah,
It's similar to low.
clean.
Yeah, it's similar to low tier Lux at 0 and 9. I gave you one loss just because, like, man, I
Yeah.
really don't know when you put these two rosters together who's gonna win 3 against you guys. So. I got you guys at 8 and 1 with 26 games for.
Yeah.
Not too far ahead of Spellbound and Casually and Safeties Off, so you guys could easily fall down into that 5th spot with
Yeah.
just a win or loss. So, moving on to number 1, obviously that leaves us with
Stay tripping.
Stay Trippin', and I have them at 9 and 0.
Yep.
I really did not know who was going to beat Stay Trippin'. I had the opportunity to cast them early in the season, and they looked really good.
Yes,
Looked
they really
powerful. I it's going down again through the schedule. I did not know who could eke out a victory against them. Now, do I think they will go 9 and 0? I think they might. I think somebody might edge them. I mean, I think you guys have a good chance to put up a competitive fight.
Yes.
Especially when you're looking at maybe a 3-game series. I mean first to 3. When you play longer, like in the playoffs, when you play best of 7, I think that's where you guys, get disadvantaged. But I think you guys can pull out a win in the regular season against Stay Trippin'. But for now, I've got Stay Trippin' at 9 and 0, winning the most games of the season at 27,
That
and the least games
fair
at
encouragement.
losing only 8 games all season long. We'll see how they fare up. Now, you see there, we've got the top 6. We've got Stay Trippin', Scars, Spellbound, Casually, Safeties Off, and No Mercy in the playoffs. So how do you think the playoffs are going to shape up? All right, let's take a look. So in the playoffs, we've got No Mercy, based off of this, who would take Spellbound Gaming in the opening round, and Casually Filthy taking on Safeties Off in the opening round. The winner of No Mercy and Spellbound Gaming would take on the lowest remaining seed would take on Stay Trippin'. The highest remaining seed would take on Spellbound Gaming. By Spellbound Gaming, that's a typo there. That is actually Scars.
Yes.
All right, so we got that shaping up, and we'll move on to the next look at things. And I've got Spellbound Gaming beating No Mercy 4-2, and Casually Filthy beating Safeties Off in the opening round. So that would match up Scars Esports versus Spellbound and Stay Trippin' and Casually Filthy. So you see that's what our semifinals is predicted to look like. Straight chalk, 1, 2, 3, 4 in the semifinals. Now, who do I have in the finals? I've got Stay Trippin' and Scars Esports. No surprise here. Scars, I think, will beat Spellbound Gaming 4-1 in the playoffs. Spellbound without Tet G. Just don't see Scars really losing to Spellbound without Tet G in the playoffs in a 7-game series. Stay Trippin', I think, could have a rough time against Stay Trippin' could have a tough time against Casually Filthy, but they'll eke that out, and that'll set up Stay Trippin' and Scars for the finals with a 4-3 win for Stay Trippin'. I think Scars will keep it close, but again, like I said earlier in the cast, you're looking at a best of 7, and a best of 7 is going to be tough for you guys to take over Stay Trippin'. Very tough to win 4 out of 7 against that team. So what do you think about the playoff predictions and how things shape up? How do you feel about that?
I think it's a pretty fair. I think it's a pretty fair judgment personally, but I guess the big game is how we play in the finals, because literally anything could happen, because it depends on how we firstly play stay tripping in the season, because we have never played them, so like we don't know how we are going to fare up against them. But then the same with like Spellbound, because we have never played them, like we don't know if we're going to crumble or we don't know if we're going to triumph. Like we just don't know, because we haven't played these teams yet. So we are just going to head in with a positive mindset and hopefully bring that bread home, you know?
Yeah, exactly. That's a good way to look at things, moving forward. And with you guys not projected to be the winners, I know it could probably be a little bit disappointing, but you guys got your work cut out for you with Stay Trippin' there. So we will see. All right. So that does it for our preview of the regular season. I would like to thank Fireboy for being here with me to get his input on things. I am BruiseR. The regular season actually will kick off today. We're going to go ahead and allow early play for the regular season today instead of tomorrow. That will help get us these games in. So let's see. All right, for the Halo Draft League, I am BruiseR. He is Fireboy JET, and we are out. Enjoy the season, everybody. Take care.